welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah and if you're new here, I upload videos about 3 to 4 times a week, depending on how everything's going. There's a lot going on today, so if you hear noise in the background, it's really just my 2 sons that I have, my husband and my dog. He just huffed at me. Anyway, today's video really is going to be a good one, I think. I think it's going to be something really interesting, and it means I get to play with makeup this late at night. What time is it? It's like 9. It's probably around 9:30 or 8 something.
8:51.
8:51, so almost 9. I was scrolling through Amazon yesterday, okay? And I was ordering makeup for a friend of mine. Her Christmas present, she wants to play with makeup, so I was wanting to get her a new palette. And when I was scrolling through it, I saw something really unique and funny called the Fantasy Palette. Now, if you have seen reviews on this, then you know exactly what's going to happen with this video today. But I'm trying to get the lighting as good as I possibly can for y'all. It's going to be a little bit rough. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's late, like I said. And anyway, let me just read to you what the back says, and then I'll tell you guys what this is about. Because you can't really tell much from the packaging as to what this video is going to entail, unless you read the description, which probably will say something, or the thumbnail. The back of this package says, the color never ends with this full spectrum palette of 39... I wonder what other palette has 39 shades in it. 39 dialed up, deeply pigmented shades with 4 rows of stunning color combos and 1 row of super sized shades. What other palette has those? You'll be ready to take on any look you can dream up. So go on and go for it. And don't hold back. A lot of periods, like little fragment sentences, but whatever. Let's see, this was okay, I'm confused. It says that the shelf life is 12 years. I don't know if you guys know, but if you guys see the little makeup containers here, whatever number it says, that's how long the palette is good for, how many months. And this is for 12 months. But it actually says the manufacture date was March of this year, and it doesn't expire until 2022, so it's really like 2 years. But anyway, I'm excited to get into this. But this is beautiful in color. Looks like they have multiple similar to this. In fact, I think I saw for $25 you can get 2 of these that are identical setups, but like similar, but one's like more jewel tones, one is this palette. So for those who've been following me for a while, you know that I was really into the whole tea with Tati and James. That happened, all the fun stuff. And since his palette came out this past December, almost a year ago, good job, James, which I have it right here, by the way, a lot of companies have been making dupes. They've been trying to create something that is identical to his, that's a cheaper price so that they can sell it. Now, obviously, I mean, this is what it looks like outside of its package. Very similar packaging with the shiny lettering on the matte background with the company name on top. This one is a little bit different and obviously much smaller. However, these are complete dupes. Like, this one completely stole it, and I'm going to talk to you guys about that in a minute. But ever since that happened, a lot of companies have been making their own version of his palette. I mean, in fact, I'm going to show you guys right now, just right off the bat. This is the Fantasy palette. Look it. He, knocks his, toy underneath me. It's really late. We're all tired, and we have a vacation. So this is Fantasy, and this one is James Charles palette. We're going to start with the top rows. Very, very similar, exact same layout. Almost the exact same colors in the same positions. I mean, very, 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 very similar. Then you got the middle row, exact same shades. And then there's the bottom row for you. And then I'll try to show you guys on the Fantasy so you guys can get an idea. Exact same layout and exact same shades. So this one is definitely not even pretending to be similar. I mean, I know there was a big controversy recently with Wet n Wild coming out with a pan that is the same layout, except the only difference I think was there was more colors in it, like more neutrals, and it didn't have this. I mean, it had these colors, but they were the same size as the other ones. So I did see a video this morning where one lady was saying, oh, this is awesome if you guys are looking for a cheap dupe for his palette and this and that. I don't believe it is ever right to recreate someone else's hard work, especially because he did a lot to get where he was with as far as his subscribers and stuff, and for him to come out with his own palette and then someone try to rip him off to sell their own version, that's not nice. Come up with your own ideas. You know, children steal ideas. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to do 2 looks using this palette. I have no makeup on other than the eyes we're about to do and the eyebrows. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. It's very difficult. I'm going to start off with a little bit of this L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. That way I can give you guys like as close of a example as I can. So you guys can see this how I normally would wear it. You see how good this concealer is? It is thebomb.com. Hopefully I got all my mascara off. I'm not going to put any mascara on. I'm just going to do 2 eye looks. Really what this is to demonstrate whether or not the shades are the same. Now, I have a confession. I did swatch this. Jared was my witness, but I did swatch this. Why is there a foot on your TV?
I'm disposing of the dead bodies.
Oh, he's playing video games. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying, but I did do some swatches, and there are a couple in this fantasy palette that are like almost identical to the other ones, but just a little bit more pretty in my opinion, and a little more bright and vibrant. Now, this palette is older. I've had this for 6 months probably. I love this palette. It's one of my favorite palettes that I own. I actually use this on a daily, and it's a gorgeous palette. Since I'm not going anywhere, we are going to create 2 very interesting looks. So we're going to start off, I'm going to take, I have, these are my makeup brushes that are like pink and green and stuff that have been used on these colors and stuff. So I'm going to use those. Now we're going to start off, and this side of my face, which to me is the left side, and if you're watching this, it's probably your right side. No. Yeah, this is my left side. Left side of my face is going to be James Charles. Right side is going to be the Fantasy palette. So we're going to start off, and whenever I show you guys what colors I'm using, since I don't have the names anymore, I will just lift up the Fantasy since it's a lot lighter to show you the names, or which shade. Which this is the one I'm starting with to go all over the lid. So this is James Charles palette. I'm just going all over my lid. But the only problem is I don't have a mirror. I just realized that. So I'll probably need to go grab one in a second. And then I am using the same brush, but I'm making sure I clean it off pretty well. And this one is the Fantasy palette. Hey, babe. There's a triangular... Can you pause your game for a second? Yeah. There's a triangular highlight palette I got with Kiska. It's in my right drawer. It has a big A on it. Could you bring that to me? Real quick. It has a mirror on it, and I'm going to need that. Thanks, baby.
As soon as this goes, I'll pause it.
Yeah, no, you're good. Okay, so now I have the base down. Pretty much what this is going to do... You're not even going to be able to see the colors, but... What this is going to do is it's going to make sure that the eyeshadows don't stick like crazy to the concealer. I think also keeps it from creasing. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. So I think we're going to go with Fire and Ice kind of look today. So we're going to start off with blue, and this is going to be fun. I'm excited about this. Let's see. Oh, I don't want to use my good brushes. We're going to use these that have been like tormented by color on this side. So we're going to start with, let's see. We're going to start with the, this color of blue on both palettes. So we're going to start with James Charles. And buff this in. Now, I have to say I'm not, like, very proficient when it comes to makeup. You know, I mean, like, I love to experiment with colors. I know how to do good enough looks to, like, go in public. Obviously, it doesn't look like that right now. This brush is horrid. Why am I using it? Can you find it? It's, like, right there in front of him. It has a big A, and it's in the right drawer underneath those palettes. Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking of. I can come in there if you need me to. It should be in there. Good. So I'm just taking a fluffy blending brush on this one. I need a mirror to really be able to see what I'm doing, but it's going to be a long video.
It was on the flow.
Thank you, baby. I'm going to be using my Anastasia palette just to be able to see what I'm doing. This is still not really helping that much. I'm actually going to dip back into his color, and I'm just going to go in with this brush. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That other brush was like a weird brush from Walmart that I'm not that big a fan of. That's the only one I want to contaminate. I don't want to contaminate any other brushes because they're all for my more natural makeup that I'll be wearing this week. Okay. And then I'm going to rub this brush off as much as I can, and we're going to go in with the Fantasy palette. And I promise I'm not doing anything different. So if you see that palette's working better, it's not rigged. I'm not trying to... here, I can actually show you. I'm going to grab out of this palette. See? Tap off. I won't do that for every time, but just so you guys can see that it's completely real and not faked. So yeah. So the first color's down. I have had trouble with this blue from James Charles since I got the palette. It's nothing bad on him. It might be just that the color has been... Bucket, lay down. The color has been used too much or something. Not quite sure. All I know is that I do... So far, and I will tell you guys as I go, whichever colors I use, what I think about them. Babe. Puppy trouble. But ever since I got this blue, I was having trouble with it. I'm just using this to blend it, and I cleaned it off, so it's not like getting transferred. I have had a little bit of trouble with this being a little patchy, but not enough that it's like a big deal. But this one so far is smoother. So the next shade that we're going to go in with, and I'm cleaning off, we're going to use, let's see, we're going to use a flat brush. And I just want to make sure I get as much off as I can. We're going to go in with this shade up here. It's kind of like a deep matte blue, purple kind of shade. And I'm going to start with a Fantasy palette. We're just going to press this on the outer edge. Just build up that beautiful, oh, that's pretty. Now I'm going to be completely honest about the palettes. I'm not going to like really stretch it for what I would like the outcome of this video to be. But I will say it's never okay to make a dupe. So I'm going to do my best to be kind to Fantasy or whatever the name of the brand is. But I think they did wrong by taking another artist and making an identical palette. I think that there's no excuse for that. It's ridiculous. However, some of these shades so far are more pigmented than his. But then that makes me think, what are they putting in these shades to make them that awesome? You know what I mean? Like, are they putting anything weird in there? So now that I have that down, we'll go back and blend it a little bit. I'm just going to rub this off. And we're going to take the same shade that's in James Charles' palette. Now, I can see them side by side. It's not as pigmented, but it's still pretty good. We're going cray-cray. So hopefully I can get a really neat look. At least I'll be taking my makeup off at the end of the night, so. I'm just going to drag this out. Rub it off. Do the same on this one. I really should be doing separate brushes for both palettes. But I realize I'm kind of going back and forth, and I'm trying not to. It's been kind of hard to like completely clean off the brushes, and I don't have like a crazy amount of brushes compared to some people, so it's hard for me to have specific brushes for each palette. So sorry about that. I'm gonna go back with the blue on each palette, the light blue, and then I'm going to just kind of sweep it over there to blend. So far, this one is blending better. Has nothing to do with doing any kind of different application. It's just blending better. And I think because the blue on this one, the light blue, is a little bit harsher than the blue on this one. But that's just my personal opinion. Now, I think I'm going to do a cut crease real quick since I have concealer over here. Just to really elevate this look. I could do gold. Don't really want to do that. Now, if you guys want to see more kind of dupe videos, I've seen a lot of dupes out there. When I was looking at this palette. If you guys want to see more dupe videos, then let me know. I'd be happy to film them for you guys. At the end of the video, I will do swatches as well, so you guys can get an idea of some of the side-by-sides. Okay, now that I have my crease down, I'm just going to take a little more of that powder, that lightest like tan powder that I used to set my eye in the beginning. And I like to just take that and just kind of gently pat it on. What this will do is just allow me to be able to put those eyeshadows on without it being super duper sticky or anything. So this is the fantasy eye that we were doing now. I'm just gonna make this even. Okay. What?
Oh. Just.
So just doing the exact same thing that I did and just putting a little bit of that on just to keep it from being like tacky and moving around and being weird. So now we're going to take our finger. I normally would have some setting spray or some water to dip my finger in for this. And we are going to put on a very beautiful shade in the palette, one of my favorite shades, and it is the shimmery blue. So this is James Charles Shimmery Blue. Very pretty. And we'll clean up the edges and everything and make it nice and pretty. And then another tip, another thing I want to do is take one of my favorite shades in the palette, which is this beautiful purple. And we are going to take it with our finger, just a little bit of it, and just kind of focus it on the outer area, just to have that purple shimmer kind of towards the edge. Do the same with this palette as well. Now this one, it's the shimmeries feel a little more creamy. Like this one is blending on much better than the other. Do I look crazy, Jared? So compared to the James Charles palette, I do like this blue better. I actually like the shade of this one better. It's more pigmented, and this is without water. Now, I know James has said before that his are made to be like dipped with, or maybe it's not him. Maybe I heard someone else say that. But that his palette is meant to be used with like a wet brush, made to be very artistic and stuff. And they are great palettes, but these are the two shades. This one's James, and this one is this palette. And it honestly is just the shades are different. They're different kinds of blue. This one is an ice. This one is a little more teal kind of blue. So that's just really what it comes down to. But his doesn't go on super smoothly, I've noticed. So I'm going to take the purple from this shade, and I still love this purple more than his. I'm sorry, James. I feel really bad for those who are very loyal to him. But honestly, he's the one who came up with this palette. So this palette is really just a copycat. So, I mean, it has nothing to do with which company is more talented. If he's more talented or more better on his ideas than this company completely ripped him off, and I think it's stupid. So I'm just going to blend a little bit. So you can see that purple has shown up so well. This purple has not as much. This is James. This one is the Fantasy. I'm just taking this to blend. So now we're going to get into the fire. I need to do something about my hands, but whatever. I'm going to start on the Fantasy eye for this part. This is going to be the under eye. And we're going to take this orange color, and then we're going to take this red. So with a small brush, we're going to take that orange. And let me do this. That lighter orange we're going to take and do this. We're just going to put it underneath our lash line because we're going to do that fire and ice kind of a look. And then we're going to also do it with the James Charles palette. And then we're going to take the darker shade of that red and place that kind of on the overlapping closer to the lash line. I wish I had a chart with all the names. I don't remember what his names, his colors are, but hopefully you guys are able to follow along. I have to admit, a couple times I have dipped my brush in one of the palettes and then gone to do the other eye and did a little bit, and then I was like, oh wait, had to go with another one. So I'm sorry if this is not as accurate as it could be. If you guys want another version of this video, I can do that, talking about the palettes a little bit more, but just let me know. And then I'm going to take, and I want to show you which shade I'm going to use. I'm going to be taking this gorgeous shade right here. It's a really pretty, like, salmon-y glitter. I really love this shade. It's one of my favorites in James Charles' palette. And, let's see. Alright, so this is his palette. That's going to go on the inside to give us, like, some shimmer to our look. And then we're going to do the same with the Fantasy palette. That one is so much more vibrant. So the bottoms are almost identical on these. This one is a little more vibrant towards the inner corner where I put in that beautiful shimmery salmon-y color. His is not as vibrant, but, and I used exact same brushes, exact same technique, so it's not like I use different brushes, different brands. I use the same concealer and everything with it. I have never been a big, I love his blue shades, but I've never been like a huge fan of the consistency of them, and so far this blue is so poppin'. I love it. Which doesn't mean like I won't use this Fantasy palette later on. Can you do something about him? He keeps moving the camera. He keeps hitting it. Thanks, sweetheart. Puppy. Anyway, it doesn't mean that I won't use this palette just because I think it's wrong that they did this. I will still use this palette. I paid my own money for it and stuff. Because there are some shades in this, like the more shimmery shades that are more vibrant. So speaking of, we're going to use one of them. One of my favorite shades in his palette is this shade right here. It's a beautiful highlight shade. And we are going to highlight with this. Let's see. We're going to do with his first. And for this, I'm not even going to use a brush. I'm going to use like my pinky. And you can put a little bit on the inside. Some for the highlight at the brow bone. You guys won't get mascara and eyeliner out of this video, but you'll get pretty close. And then we're going to do the same with the Fantasy palette. And this shade is, I mean, almost prettier. This is a little more of a yellow gold, and this one is like a yellow creamy color, and this one is more of a pearl. So overall, there's the kind of look that I came up with. Obviously, I haven't cleaned out from under my eyes. Let's see. But that's the look that I was able to create using both palettes. They are very, very similar. I mean, obviously, they're identical palettes. There's nothing that's different about the kinds of shades. The only thing I would say is consistency of the color itself. Like I said, the blue is not as blendable in his palette as it is in this palette. Now, he did say a lot of them are crushed pigments, so you do kind of need to use water with them, or they are overly bright, like his hot pink is like to die for. Now, there is one color I was about to play with. Like, look, this is the Fantasy with one swipe. This is his. Beautiful shade. I want to do his yellow because I'm very curious. I haven't even swatched the Fantasy's yellow. This is James Yellow. It's very, very hard to make a yellow in a palette. It's a hard color to do. And this one is Fantasy. So Fantasies is not as of a warm yellow. It's more of a cool yellow. Very pretty. I want to do the greens as well. I'm going to do quite a few colors today, because I discovered that I have this laying near me. I want to do the lime green shade. Looks like that. That is James's palette. Oh, I don't think I'm going to like their lime green just by swatching it. Oh, it doesn't even show up? Wait a minute. I'm like digging in this palette. That is their green. Jared, look. I like dug into that palette to try to get that color. That's their green on the bottom. It's non-existent almost. Let me try, let's see, that purpley color that is next to the pink. I love that shade. This one is Fantasy. Super pretty. You guys can kind of see that. We're going to do his palette as well because I have to. And they are a bit different, honestly. Different shades. Yeah, his is more deep purple. Theirs is more pinky purple. Let's do a couple of the shimmeries on the two palettes. Here is that copper one. That is one of my favorite shades. That is James's palette. And then Fantasy has their own. And I kind of like theirs just a little bit better. It's a little bit more warm. And then right below that, there's like a maroony, reddish colored shimmer. This one is Fantasy right here. Very pretty. But let me do James's. Very similar. These are very, very close. I want to do a couple more shades because I can't stop. We're going to go in with this other gold shimmer. This is Fantasy. That's what theirs looks like. And James's is not as much of a pure gold. His is that's his. That's with kind of digging in. I'm really bad at this. Let's see. The last color I was wanting to swatch, and we need to do a debate about this. I'm going to do this on the back of my hand because this one, I can't tell if they're identical or if they're similar, is the navy blue color. This one is James. Look how gorgeous and rich that color is. I'm thinking about doing something blue tomorrow, going to Thanksgiving with family. Actually, there are two colors I want to swatch. And this one is the Fantasy version. I don't know if you guys can tell, but Fantasy's is a little more shiny than his. Still very pretty. And the last one that I'm going to do today is, I just want to do all of them. This one right here. I'm going to do it right here on my... Oh, that's gorgeous. So this one is Fantasy. And we're going to do James's version of this color. Still very pretty. I wish I would have used that. His is more of a foresty green compared to this one, which is more of a jewel-toned teal. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What did you guys think? Would you guys use this palette even though they kind of stole James Charles's whole vibe and everything? I still think I might use it for a lot of different looks and stuff. And like that one girl said in a video that I saw, like a review, she said that she would use it as like a to-go one. So maybe I'll take this with me on vacation. So I can, or we're leaving tomorrow. So maybe I'll take this with me for Thanksgiving vacation because it's so small. Now, I will do more research before taking it to make sure the ingredients are not ingredients that are harmful. I'm going to take this off my eyes right now before I find out bad things about it. And I will do an updated video. Stay tuned. I'll probably do it sometime in Vlogmas in December. I'll do a video, just kind of talk like an update about these. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be a vlog, actually, of a Thanksgiving vlog, and I'll see you guys then. You guys have a great Thanksgiving, and bye.